Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Arc Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and we finally got there. I know it's been a while, but we finally got there. This is round 5 of the South Coast Series tournament held at the BIC. We finally get to see who is actually going to win this. I mean, someone's been on top table the whole time, so it would take a bit of a miracle. But joining me to go through this game, we have...
Hi guys, it's Amy.
Hey Amy, welcome back. First order is on the table, so our first order of business was to give you a shout, to invite you along to talk about it, because we know how much you love the bad guys.
Oh yes, they're my favourite, hands down.
And I mean, to be honest, the first order just looked really cool, that black and white colour scheme. It's
nice.
And
the little speckles of red. Oh,
little speckles
just makes me so happy.
Just to break it up a bit. But let's run through the list. So, on our left, we have Ben running his Scum list. For those of you who've been keeping tabs on this, you're probably very familiar with it by now. But he is running the Mandalorian in the Razor Crest with Fearless, the Child, L337, Greedo, Contraband Cybernetics, and the Razor Crest title, with his sneaky hidden Elusive there. He also has Leema Kai in the Y-Wing with Dorsal Turret and Proton Torpedoes, Manaroo in the Jumpmaster with Notorious, Gar Saxon, Contraband Cybernetics, Punishing One, and the ever-fickle R5PA Astromech. And rounding off the list, we have Kanan Jarrus in the Hawk 290 with Maul upgrade. An absolute brute of a ship there. Surprisingly, such a good support ship. But what is Rich flying in those black and white first order?
So in them beautiful black and white ships, we have Kylo Ren in the TIE Whisper with enhanced jamming suite, brilliant evasion, Malice, concussion missiles, elusive, and advanced optics. We then have Blackout in the TIE Silencer with elusive, pattern analyzer, sensor scramblers, and proton torpedoes. Breach in the TIE Bomber with Proton Bombs, Elusive, and Proton Torpedoes. And then Commander Malarus in the TIE FO Fighter with Magpulse Warheads and Marksmanship.
Lovely. And just to point out, yes, I'm aware that the ID token for Breach is showing the normal bomber, not the TIE SE FO bomber. Unfortunately, for some reason, the overlay didn't bring it up, and then in my stupidness, I put the wrong ID token there. But it is still a bomber. The wings are just the other way round. But it is a really cool ship. And I'll tell you what, it's such a large ship for a small base. It's almost
huge.
It almost reminds me of like 1.0 when we had ships like the K-Wing, the Skurg, the Arc 170 on a small base, because medium bases weren't a thing at the time, and they would just look absolutely ridiculous. But again, I understand why it's not on a medium base, because it is clearly a small base ship. But I remember when I first saw it, I was curious whether it was going to almost be like Punisher style with like health and be on a medium base. But I do really like that bomber. It's got a really cool ability, so it'll be interesting to see how well it pulls that off.
Yeah, it is a cool looking ship, and I kind of miss the Punisher now you've actually said it. I'm gonna have to test mine out again.
It's a great ship. I mean, I've got 2 of them, and one of them is just literally sat here on my desk staring at me right now. The Punisher was one of the, I think it was about the 5th ship I ever bought. I remember buying into the game way back in 1.0, popping into the local store, and they had a tournament running, and my friend was playing in it. I was looking at all the ships, and I was like, ooh, Punisher, K-Wings, they look really cool. And because I was only flying Imperials at the time, I picked up the Punisher, and yeah, it was good fun. I still like that ship. Might need to write a couple of lists with them in it now.
Yeah, I think I might do that as well.
It's just, so many ships to fly at the moment, and not enough time to fly them all. And
Yes.
I've just bought more ships, so finally have everything. I finally got hold of the Trident the other day, so I now have the Squid for my collection. That's at least one of every ship in there.
Oh, nice. I
It's
have to
such a good
admit,
ship.
it looks so cool. I'm definitely going to do a bit of a stock take in my cases this weekend, just to see what I've got, how much I definitely still need to buy. So,
Yeah,
I mean, oh, yeah, I need to catch up on a few things. I've been playing them on TTS, but I really need them in real life. Unfortunately,
yeah,
adulting on the way.
true. But I mean, TTS is a great place to obviously try ships out, and for you, obviously, you only do the 3 factions, so it's going to be a little bit easier.
Mm,
Obviously, I do all 7, so to try and keep on top of that can be quite challenging. And I finally caught up after 3 or 4 years of playing. I finally caught up to having one of everything now, so it's pretty good. But we
that's
have
good.
completely ignored the game. 7 minutes in, we're into round 2.
That's-
Just having a quick look, I don't think no one has taken any shots or been shot at yet, but I think we are going to start getting our first engagements. Manaroo has been thrown out as a nice bit of bait there for that FO squadron to start chewing at, I think.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Oh, definitely getting in a bit closer.
Yeah, probably hoping to drop some bombs there and catch Manaroo, because Manaroo can move quite quickly, actually. With a 4K turn, can get behind you a lot faster than you would actually anticipate. So definitely something to keep an eye out, especially with Contraband Cybernetics, allowing it to do that and get an action. Great combo. It's probably, I'd say, one of the 3 best elicits in the game if we ignore Dead Man Switch, which is just hilarious. But I would say you're looking at Contraband Cybernetics, false transponder codes, which was the hidden elicit under Razor Crest, and Notorious is actually a really good one. When you defend, you can, and if your opponent is in your firing arc, you can spend a charge and they gain a strain token. That's always pretty good.
That is quite cool. I think Dead Man Switch always will be my favourite illicit, though.
I mean, Deathmatch Switch is just so good.
It's
So funny as
awesome.
well.
Oh, you killed
I
me. Oh, by the way. Hey.
boom boom. Especially if you can trigger that into multiple ships.
Oh, it's just perfect. Perfect
Yeah,
if that happens.
it's good. But it looks like we are about to get our first set of attacks. Rich does have initiative for this round, so that'll be all of his ships shooting first. So it'll be oh, there's false transponder codes. Getting rid of, I believe, that's Breach's. Yeah, that's Breach's target lock, which is a bit disappointing. I think he would have really liked to have shot those Proton Torpedoes into Manaroo there. I still think the one to watch out for in this list is Kanan Jarrus. His ability, it's just a ridiculous ability, especially in a support role. When a friendly ship is being targeted, if they are in Kanan's firing arc, he can spend 1 force to reduce the attacker's player's attack dice by 1. I mean, what's not to love about that, really? That's just
Pretty
so
awesome.
crazy. Very frustrating, especially if you've lined up a 5 dice proton rocket shot, and then suddenly he's going, nope, it's 4. You just feel a little bit salty at that. But it looks like it is going to be Breach to shoot first. Now, unfortunately, at this point of the day, my dice cam decided to stop working, so we're not going to be able to see some of the early dice until they let me know a couple rounds in that it's turned off. But we'll be able to see the results on the overlay. Since this, we have bought some more equipment to try and alleviate that, but at the time didn't have that, so a little bit disappointing. So no damage on Manaroo, but Notorious being flipped, putting a strain on Breach, which is not ideal on a bomber. They don't exactly have a wealth of green dice to roll as it is. Malarus taking the stress to get an additional die. Kanan spending a force to say, nope, you're not getting that additional die, so that's actually probably the saltiest way of doing it there. So 2 hits there from Malarus though, so that's not too bad. And getting 1 damage through on Manaroo, so starting what could hopefully be a number of damage there, but I believe that was a Magpulse warhead as well, so that actually has got a strain on Manaroo, so possibly should have used that first to reduce those dice. Kylo now having a go as well. Now, you've not actually flown all of these ships yet, have you, Amy?
No, I mean, I've definitely flown the Silencer. That's
I think you've
one of my
flown the Silencer against me a few times.
Yes. Have I played my triple Silencer list against you?
I'm trying to remember now. I've
Played it
seen your
against
triple
James.
silence list. Yeah, you've played it against James, and that was good fun. But
That was
I've
hilarious.
used a variant of that as well. But yeah, triple silence is good fun.
I mean, I've flown the Hawk.
The Hawk is a great ship.
Flown the F-bombs. I've got a bomber, but I've not used it. But I will double check that when I do my stock take this weekend. And it is definitely the silencers.
Yeah, if you've got Fury of the First Order, then you should hopefully have flown that. I'm just having a quick look. Oh, you can't. I was wondering if you could do a decent quad silencer list, but you can't. Because, I mean, if you could do Blackout, Recoil, an Avenger, and then Rush, but Blackout annoyingly is 6 points, so that's 21 points, so you can't do a quad silence list, but that could have been quite funny.
That would have been quite cool.
Yeah, after all that, it looks like only 2 shields off of Manaroo there, so not a great round of shooting there for Rich, with 3 ships in fairly good positions. Kanan really being put to work with those force. Now it's time for Ben to see what he can do in reply. So it'll be the Mando shooting. I don't believe Leema has arc, so spending that target lock going into Breach. Spending the Greedo trigger to get a crit in there. And wow, that's an expensive one. All the force as well. Having to spend Elusive on Breach. And taking 2 shields. So that's That's not too bad. Very expensive amount of token usage there to get that, but a good start. I wonder if Ben focuses Breach down now. I think he's got the damage going in there to start with. I think it's a good idea, especially with those Proton Bombs. They could be quite dangerous. R5 P8 trigger there, not causing damage. So for those of you that aren't familiar with R5 P8, it allows you to re-roll one of your attack dice. But if you roll a crit, you suffer a damage as well. So it's quite a fickle one to use. Really can really help out in a pinch, but you've got to be careful when you use it. You get 3 charges on there, so you definitely want it on a more healthy ship. Although with Scum, there's not a huge amount of options for astromech-based ships, I don't think, if I can remember rightly.
No, I don't think there is.
Oh, and it's at this point that we found out the dice cam had stopped working. So, yeah, from this round, they'll be rolling all the dice on the table, so we'll be able to see them a little bit better. But the FO are in an interesting position. Looks like they're going to try and joust Ben's list. Is that how you'd run it, Amy? Would you try and go down the gut, or how would you do it instead, do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I mean, the position I like at the moment is Blackout's position. He's got a nice flank position there, which I think is ideal for a silencer.
Yeah, they can quite easily zip in and out quite nicely. I think, to me, I definitely want to take out Mando and just hope. Oh no, the child is on board, which will make me feel bad because he's so cute.
It's all right.
Yeah.
The child's little case can survive anything, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, with knowing how chunky Mando is, I'd probably take out Razor Crest. However, that plucky little hawk with Kanan and Morlin, I think that's probably going to be the best one to take out. It's just so difficult because everything else is kind of in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, still shoot at them on the way, but...
Absolutely, and when you look at the points of each ship as well, Mandalorian is 7 points, so he's a sizable chunk of the list. Leema Kanan are 4 points, and Manaroo is only 5 points. There's still a lot of health to chew through to take out Leema and Manaroo. Kanan, not so much, but he has the Force. And
Yeah.
he's got ships in front of him as well. So it's going to make him tricky to take out. It's definitely a tough choice as to who to go for, but I having seen this list and flown against it, I think if you can take out Kanan early and come out the other side of that quite well, it's going to be a lot. This is going to be a lot easier to handle because that force dropping the attack dice is just insane. I think the biggest thing I probably would have looked to have done different for Rich is with Kylo. I don't know if I'd have run him through the middle with Breach and Malarus. I would have potentially used Breach and Malarus as bait, and then Kylo and Blackout flanking either together or individually in a pincer movement to try and get around all of that fire.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that.
I mean, I'm worried about Kylo's position right now. He hasn't moved yet, and there's not a lot of space in front of him, and there's a proton bomb right there. So it's quite concerning as to what's actually going to happen there. Will he be able to get away from that proton?
Hopefully he will, but it is still worrying.
Yeah. we got Blackout coming in first, lining up his through the obstacle shot, which is good, but I think he needs the config card to make that really stand out, to be honest, allowing him to do that barrel roll in the system phase. There's not too bad. He still gets the benefit of the obstacle for his attacks, most likely against Kanan at range. What is Kylo gonna do? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh.
Yeah. That bomb is going to be doing some serious work there for Ben, unfortunately, which is not what we were hoping for.
No.
Well, unless you were obviously rooting for Ben, and then in that case, yay, Proton Bomb.
Ooh, Proton Bomb.
Yeah, there's such a... Ben's list is, at the moment, this is such a tight formation. Everything is supporting everything really well in there. It's so difficult to get around that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to get past.
I mean, having flown against it, I know how difficult this list is and how hard it can actually punch. And there's just so many fun upgrades in there that really do just ruin your day. I mean, the one that really got me when I flew against it was L337. I had a great shot, and he went, right, re-roll all of that. And I was like, what? And then he was like, yeah, L337, you can re-roll all of that, and then you can't spend a target lot to roll it again. And it went from a half-decent shot to just utter garbage. So I was like, great, thank you very much for that. But looks like shots from Breach into... I think that was Breach into Kanan. No. Yes, Breach into Kanan, nothing coming of that. Proton Bomb did score some damage onto Manaroo, and Kylo just missed Malarus there, so that wasn't too bad. But yeah, taking a point of damage off Kylo Ren was not ideal.
Just trying to figure out where everybody's going to go in the next round because it just looks so busy.
Yeah, it really does, and that's what's going to make it so tricky. I think Ben's got the better options here with Contraband Cybernetics. He can just scooch past. Rich, it is difficult. I mean, at least he's got the advantage that Kanan and Manaroo will have moved out of the way by the time that he's moving, because he's all initiative 5. So I think he almost wants Ben to have initiative next round just to clear the lanes a little bit for him. And then he can do some turnarounds and just start coming back into the action. I mean, if he can force Mando to have to do a K-turn, that's going to be pretty good for him, because it's difficult to relieve stress on Mandalorian because he's only got straight blues.
Yeah, is it all straight blues though, or has he only got a couple?
Let me just bring up the dial again. I don't think it's all. Let's have a look. Not that one. I had the list up a second ago and I just moved off of it to see if I could run 4 silencers. Got disappointed when I couldn't. Yeah, it's all the straight. So 1 through 4 are blue. Which isn't too bad. But with L337, once that's been flipped and he's unshielded, you do get the bank maneuvers reduced in difficulty, so that means you do get all the banks as blue as well. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Ooh, cheeky console fire there on Manaroo. And some more damage being dished out there. That was actually into Kanan, so Kanan has lost both shields. A good start. Obviously, this is Assault the Transmission, so there are no points for half points in this one, so you do have to take out the ship to get the full points. But you get 1 point for each objective that you hold, and you hold that by having more ships within a range 2 bubble. Small ships count as 1, medium ships and large base ships count as 2. So Ben does have a bit of an advantage having the Jump Master and Manaroo in there, in that they count as 2 ships. On top of the fact that they hit like a truck when they shoot you as well. Oh yeah, I mean, look, Kylo's down to 2 hull and has a damaged engine as well, so that's increasing the difficulty of the hard turn maneuvers. I know it's obviously it's a modified interceptor, so it's got a bit of an erratic dial for blues, but that's still pretty savage.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him at the minute.
No, and just checking bullseye for Fearless. No, not Fearless. Just checking bullseye there. I think that might be for... I think it does have Predator on there as well. I need to redouble check Ben's list, but there's the Greedo. Greedo's ridiculous as well. It's such a good card, but it can backfire so easily. Oh, huge spend. Oh, that's bad.
Yep.
Blackout. That's Kylo Ren gone.
Oh, Kylo.
Oh. Yeah. Interceptors don't like to joust like that, and the Whisper especially does not like to joust like that. It's like your interceptor adjacent ship. It can do interceptory things, but it still needs to be squirrely. And that was unfortunate, because that's a big 6 points there for Ben. And that's a huge key piece gone from Rich's list right now. Ben still has more attacks to come. So that's 1 evade, so 1 damage on Breach, so Breach is now on half as well. But end of that round, it was pretty savage. 2 more points there for Ben from the objectives. Again, the large base ships coming in handy. Just rolling that console fire that was missed earlier. But while we're waiting for them to get their dials down and start in on the next round, just want to remind you guys, if you do like what we're doing here at Art of Art Gaming, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description below. We're constantly putting up images and pictures of what we're currently on and working on at the moment, as well as little updates about how things are going with the channel. So if you do want to get any of those or just support us, the link is in the description below. Ooh. Have we got another bomb coming down there. I think they're going to wait for Manaroo to, rather than mark Manaroo up and place it, they're going to wait for Manaroo to move and then go, because I don't think Breach is going to be doing a system phase move there. Shame it's a proton bomb and not a proximity mine, because a proximity mine would have gone off straight away. Or, a cluster mine would have been beautiful, because I think all three of them probably would have hit Manaroo, which could have taken Manaroo out in one.
That could have been a good, that would be good.
Yeah, rolling 2 dice for each token that you actually go over, potentially, it's hard to see from this angle. You'd want to see it a bit more top down, but it would definitely take out 2 of them. I think that top corner of Manaroo might have clipped the 3rd one, so I think Ben would have had to have rolled 6 dice if a cluster mine was dropped there.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I don't get me wrong, I love proton bombs and all sorts, but my favorite always have to be proximity and cluster mines, purely for that reason.
I mean,
because they can just
me wrong,
change everything.
Well, I mentioned it in last week's video about delayed fuses and how I never really used them. I never really felt like the point of them. But I do want to give a quick shout out to Brooks Roth, who actually did comment last week. And he said that he uses delayed fuses not to damage, but for area denial of the board. So they're already wary of that bomb, but now you're making them have to think about it 2 turns in advance. So good shout there, Brooks. We're going to give that a try at some point. So thanks for that. I do hope that Malarus and Breach can get out of there. I'm not sure if Manaroo is going to get caught by that bomb.
Yeah, that's close.
I think it looks like it's going to be just out. Will Mando and Leema be able to avoid it as well? Mando, I'm pretty sure. Leema's going to be the one that's going to be close there. So I can imagine she's probably going to want to be turning in to see if she can get off a proton torpedo, because those things are brutal.
Yes, I've been at the receiving end of many proton torpedoes, and they hurt. They really hurt.
Yeah. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's Ben shooting the proton torpedoes at me, and yeah, he's good with them. I don't like it. Not very much at all. Ooh, turning away with Breach there. I suppose it kind of makes sense. Disengage to re-engage. By the looks of it, I don't think we're going to get a huge amount of shooting this turn. Anyone left is Blackout to move for Rich and see. Although I believe that Ben actually has initiative, so Mando and Leema should have actually moved first there. But hey, this was the 5th game of an all-day tournament, so at this point, everyone is incredibly tired, and the tables are quite low at the BIC. We're used to quite nice high-up tables in store, so the ones at the BIC are quite low, so I'm not going to lie, you do get a bit of backache by the end of the day, having to stoop down to play. If your local store has like nice high-up tables, count yourselves very fortunate. Not many places do, and it is an absolute boon. It really does make playing for a long time a lot more comfortable.
See, this is where I think that I have a little bit of an advantage in the fact that I'm not really that tall. So my backache probably won't be as bad as others, because no doubt everybody there will be taller than me.
I mean, we had a few tall people there. There were, I mean, I think I was the tallest, but that's normally the case in any given situation. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the ones that we have in store at Entoyment are really nice height, really comfortable to play at. The ones at the BIC are good, but after a full day, you definitely feel it in the lower back. But I think in general, after a full day, like five games at a tournament, or even if you're playing more at a tournament, your whole body, your mind, everything is going to ache, and you're just gonna be there like, I've made so many mistakes at the end. But I think you probably peak around the third game, where it's like, right, I'm settled in what I'm doing with my list. I'm not too tired. I've probably just come back from lunch. So that's the ideal, that's the point where you can get your best game out. By game 5, you can just be a bit shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since I've competed in a tournament, but I do remember that feeling.
I mean, I do love it though, just having a group of players around, all playing X-Wing, all having a good laugh. I mean, the group we had were fantastic. Everyone was just pretty casual, pretty chill. They were there for just have a really good Sunday away from the family playing X-Wing, and what more could you really want? The few shots that we have going on there, not many out there. Nothing on the dorsal turret there from Leema Kai. And yeah, looks like Blackout is just going to take a cheeky shot at Leema, see if he can get some damage there. Nope. Good old focus. Yeah, it looks like Ben did actually have initiative there, but they just did the moving in slightly the wrong order, but again, it's fine. But Ben has taken quite a commanding lead there. The only objective that Rich was close to was contested, so neither player got it. The positioning of Manaroo on the objective and Kanan right next to it, getting 2 more points there, so 5 rounds in, 27.5 minutes to go. A lot of work ahead for Rich, unfortunately, but never too late. Maybe 5 minutes left might be a little bit too late, but it's never too late. Things can swing quite easily, and we've seen that in many games before. So all it takes is a good couple of results, and you can potentially two-shot a ship here. Even the Mandalorian. I mean, I've managed to take out a T-70 with 2 shots before. Admittedly, they were from silencers, and they did trigger a lot of crits.
Oh.
Some quite nice defensive play there from Ben. He's just holding back a little bit. And then the Mando does a 3 forward and completely says, nope, not all of us.
Yeah, Mando's going for it.
I mean, the Razor Crest is a bit of a tank. And you can kind of do that, I feel. It's a good fun ship. It's pretty solid. And it can take a bit of a battering. And especially when you don't have to worry about half points, you feel a bit better about just throwing it in there. And again, when he's got initiative with Greedo on there, that's perfect because he can trigger Greedo and his opponent can't. So he'll turn the result to a crit. Yeah, he's in a really nice position. That's 3 objectives that he's pretty much guaranteed. Possibly, depending on how close Mando is to that top left one, possibly 4 objectives that he's claiming there.
Yeah, he's quite nicely positioned.
We look at it. He's scored 5 points through objectives and 6 points through ship kills. So it's an even spread there. But I think this list is ideally suited to take both styles of play. Having medium and large bases are really good for objective capture. They're tanky, they hit hard. It's just a solid list. It's hard to cope with, and Ben has flown them really well throughout this tournament. And in the practice games he had against me where he destroyed me as well. Interesting from Blackout. Let's see if you can take out Kanan there. I'd always have been tempted to possibly barrel roll Blackout across. I mean, it's good that he's got the objective there. The obstacle for his ability. But I think he's still in Arc of Leema.
Yeah, it looks like he is. He's definitely brave trying to get rid of Kanan.
It's a good option. It's going to be tough. 2 force and focus there. But Ben is taking the first shot, and is that that's a range 1 shot from the Mando, spending the focus, spending Greedo, 2 hits, 2 crits into Malarus. Oh, so that's a shield and 2 crits. Blinded pilot and structural damage.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have been a direct hit. Or a fuel leak is the first one. But can Leema Kai finish Malarus off? Yes.
Ouch.
Rolled too many dice, but yeah. Malarus is down. That's another 3 points for Ben. But simultaneous fire, he is going to shoot back and score 1, which goes through. So that is another shield off of the Mando there. Mando gets a force back because that's the only way you can get the force back with the child is by being shot and taking damage. And let's see, can breach. Nope, nothing there. Unfortunate, those dice are not playing ball for Rich at the moment. A little bit of a debate at the table, but looks like Blackout is going to take a shot at Kanan. I think they're just trying to confirm if Kanan can use his ability on himself, which he can, because it's yourself or a friendly ship in arc. So Blackout scoring hit crits. The confusing maths of having to work out how many dice you actually get when Blackout shoots you through a rock, but only 1 damage going through. It is a hull breach.
Oh,
It's a shame. It's a shame he doesn't have any follow-up shots there, because that would have been great. Get Kanan up off the board. That would be absolutely ideal. But yeah, Malarus is gone. So going into turn 6, Ben has 17 points. Rich did manage to sneak an objective there. So Mando was just that range. So that is 2 points for Rich on the board. Now, I did say earlier it's never too late to stage a comeback. This might be getting to that too late point, but again, the main thing is that hopefully both players had a lot of fun. And I did have a chat with Rich after the tournament, and he said it was good fun, so that is the main thing. And we we've all seen how good Ben is. I mean, he basically plonked his stuff on top table and decided he wasn't going to leave. So Kanan just saying, these are my objectives, no one else is going to have them. Manaroo hugging the middle one. Gonna make it tough for Rich there. It's like Contraband Cybernetics flip there by the Razor Crest, taking the stop, but then getting that target lock. Yeah, this is no idea. I can't really see a good place for Blackout to go right now that's not gonna hit straight into Manaroo.
Yeah, he's in a very difficult spot.
I mean, Ben was allowed time to do those K turns, get turned around, and then come back in. It worked out really well for Ben there. That's not a bad place for Blackout to be, with a range 1 shot into Mando. No munitions, unfortunately, and I don't think that Kanan's actually close enough to be able to do his ability.
No, he is a bit far out.
Or if only Breach had actually turned in a bit there and got his arc in. I don't know if he's got target. I think he might have target lock on Mando. I would have loved him to get arc and go for a Proton Torpedo there. That would have been brilliant. Ooh, cheeky barrel roll. That'll do it. Just looking at the dice output there. 4 from Blackout at range 1. Proton Torps. With dice on their side, they could do this. They could take out the Mando, or is Breach too close for Proton Torps? Oh, it's hard to say. I never thought I'd be rooting for someone to take out the Mando so much. Oh, it's range 1, so no Proton Torps. It's going to have to be regular attack. Just still 3. It's still enough dice if Ben blanks out, but Ben is going to get to shoot first. Leema getting her target lock because she is in no one else's firing arc. It's cool there. It's so close. Just missing her. Had she got that target lock, that wasn't a great dorsal turret. A little bit better. One hit. Goes through. Mando lining up. Is he going to take Breach out this round?
Oh.
Checking for range 1. Yeah. Looking at it, I think Ben would need to take out a ship this round to guarantee the win in this round. I think he's just out of range of those obstacles. I think that's going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a focus left in there. Does he? Yeah, that's Breach gone. Yeah, that is all for. Yeah, Breach is down. A number of crits. The only question is one of them a weapons failure, because that would be a devastating one. There's nothing worse than having simultaneous fire but getting killed with a crit that's weapons failure, which makes your shot not as good. But with those 5 points, that puts Ben on 22, so Ben does have the win. So Breach is going to take a dying shot there. And yeah, a bit too close. It's not Proton Torpedoes. Oh, I think one of them was a weapons failure, so 2 hits, 2 evades. The Mando is going to survive this. Blackout. Just 3 hits. 2 evades as well. 1 damage into the Mando. That is pretty much it. We've just got Manaroo and possibly Kanan to shoot at Blackout.
Blackout. I feel dead sorry for him.
Yeah, he is
on his own, surrounded.
He is not in a very good party right now. Just 2 shields on Blackout there. So Blackout will survive this. So Rich has not been tabled, which is always good. And more of a dice than you can shake a stick at there. But that is going to be the end of round 5. Tossing up the points, it's 24 points to 2 in favour of Ben. And again, if you've been following this series of videos with us, that does mean that Ben is our overall winner of the South Coast series. He flew his Mandalorian misfits, as he calls them, very well. They were tough opponents, but yeah, very well done to Ben, and well done to all players who actually came and had a great time. I know that I thoroughly enjoyed it at the South Coast series, and getting a chance to play with some fantastic players was awesome. But Amy, thank you very much for this. I hope you enjoyed that bit of first order action there for you.
I did. Thank you very much for having me back. It's been great watching all of this series, and well done, Ben, and well done, Rich, as well. You played really, really well.
Yeah, exactly. I echo those sentiments. So great work, guys. But everyone who has watched this series, thank you very much, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't worry, the action does continue. Keep an eye out. Flight Academy Season 3 is just around the corner. So check us out on Instagram to get updates of what's happening in the group stages, but we will have that in the next couple of weeks, so looking forward to that. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all the action. Like the video, link for the Patreon in the description below, and we will see you next time.